Hey, how's it going everyone? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a performance and a tutorial for this really awesome self-working style card trick. But before we get into it, I want to wish all of you a happy new year and thank you for the support you showed on my channel in 2020. I really do appreciate it. And if you are new here to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more card trick videos just like this. Now let's get right into the performance. Okay, so I would start off this trick with my spectator giving the deck a shuffle. Once they are done, I would have my spectator go ahead and cut into the deck of cards. They can cut pretty deep into the deck if they want, and wherever they cut to, I would have them memorize the face-up card right here, and that is going to be their selection. So I'm going to turn my head and just show you guys the card. Once my spectator has memorized their selection, I would tell them that I'm just going to briefly show them, these cards here and reassure them that all the cards, in this deck that we are using are completely shuffled and mixed up. At this point, we're going to go ahead and lose their card into the deck and proceed with the trick. Now, I would have my spectator go ahead and give me a random number. Now, we have a range of 1 to 52, and I would just have them give me a random number kind of in the upper part of that range. So let's say my spectator's number is going to be 43. Now, I would explain to them that in a typical card trick, the magician would go ahead and deal out cards here. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or whatever, all the way up to their number, and hopefully their selection would be in that position. But we're going to try something else for this trick because I want to be involved in this part and also give a random number. So I'm going to go ahead and give a random number here. Mine is going to be 26. That is going to be my random number. Now I would hand the deck of cards over to my spectator and instruct them to deal out 26 cards from the top of the deck, and we're going to see what happens. So my spectator would go ahead and do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and check out the 26th card. It should be the spectator selection right here, the Queen of Clubs. So guys, that is the trick. It's a really powerful self-working effect, and if you want to learn how to perform it, make sure you watch the tutorial. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that one. This is a really great no setup card trick that I definitely think you should learn, and credit to Totally Magic for this effect. And now let's get straight into the tutorial. So make sure you are using a full 52 card deck for this trick. Once you double check that, you are good to go. And overall, this trick is quite easy to perform. There is really no sleight of hand involved. And the only thing you need to do is perform some simple math calculations in your head and follow these steps correctly so the trick will work every single time. You can begin with your spectator giving the deck a shuffle. Once they are done mixing up the cards, you're going to have your spectator cut into the deck of cards. I recommend they cut around 3/4 of the deck or so. It doesn't have to be exact, but you can just instruct your spectator to cut pretty deep into the deck. Now, wherever they cut, you're going to have your spectator memorize the bottom card in their pile. That is going to be their selection for this trick. While you are performing the trick, you're just going to have your spectator look at it. But for the tutorial, we will look at it together. So in this case, we have the 8 of spades. Now, while your spectator is memorizing their card, you're going to take the remaining cards and spread them face up on the table. And what you're doing here is telling your spectator that, as you can see, all of the cards in this deck are shuffled and mixed up. But what you're really doing is counting the exact number of cards you have just spread out here in your head. So I recommend just counting them off in blocks of 5. The easiest way to do that is just kind of as you're touching the cards here, you can sort of separate them in your head here in blocks of 5. So that's 5 right there. That's another 5, then plus 4 on the end for a total of 14 cards in this pile that I've just spread out. Make sure you get the count correct. You do not want to mess up this part of the trick or else the rest of the performance will not work. And I recommend having your spectator cut pretty deep in the deck there at the start so you don't have too many cards that you spread out here that you need to count, because the more cards you have, obviously the more difficult it is to count them. So it may take a little bit of practice at first to get comfortable doing this, but overall it's really not too difficult, and you're going to memorize the number. So once again, we have 14 cards here. Then you're simply going to add 1 to that number for in this case a total of 15, and I'm going to keep that number 15 in the back of my head for the rest of the trick. The reason you're adding 1 there is to basically count for the fact that your spectator's card is going to now be in the 15th position from the bottom of the deck. once again, while you're doing that, your pile goes down first and then your spectators goes directly on top of it. From here, you're ready to move on with the trick. And guys, just so you can follow along easier, I'm going to write down the numbers that we use so you can see how the calculations work just on this piece of paper. So our number is 15 that we have at this point in the trick. And once again, remember, you're taking that number of cards you just spread out there and then adding 1 to it and keeping that number in your head. At this point, you're going to explain to your spectator that they are going to give you a random number, and you're going to explain that the range of numbers in the deck is from 1 to 52, and you're going to tell them to give you a number in the upper part of that range. And I recommend your spectator gives you a number greater than 35, because if they choose a number less than 35, the trick will not work. So you can just tell them, okay, I want you to give me a number kind of in the top part of that range. It can be in the upper 30s or even in the 40s if you want. So just make sure you indicate that to your spectator for them to give you a number towards the top part of the range. So let's say the number our spectator gives us is 46. Now, once you have got the number, you're going to need to do another calculation in your head. You're going to take 52, which represents the total amount of cards in the deck, minus their number, in this case 46, and we get 6. So you're going to now remember the number 6 as well in addition to your first number. So you're just doing something pretty small here with the number 6 in this case. You're going to tell your spectator, all right, so a traditional card trick would be like me dealing to your number, and then hopefully your card would be in the 46th position. So as you're kind of giving this little demonstration, you're going to deal off 6 cards in this case. That is what you're doing here. It's very simple. So you're going to tell your spectator, so in a normal trick, we deal up to 46, and you're just going to count off cards here like 4, 5, and then this is 6, and hopefully your card would be in the 46th position. After you deal the number of cards you need, you're simply going to place the rest of the deck directly on top of these cards. From here, you're ready to move on. I hope that made sense. It's quite simple. You're just doing this little calculation in your head. 52 minus your spectator's number they just gave you equals this number, and that is how many cards you're dealing there. From here, you're going to tell your spectator that for this trick, I'm actually going to give a random number as well because I want to be involved. You can say something like that this trick is not traditional in the sense that you're just dealing to their number. You are also going to give a number. Now, the number you give is also going to be very specific. So you're going to be doing another calculation here. You're going to take the number that your spectator just gave you, so 46 minus the original number that we have at the start, 15. And then you're going to get a number here that you're going to basically use for the next part of the trick. So 46 minus 15 is 31. So you're just going to go ahead, finish the calculation in your head, and 31 is an important number. And the last thing you're going to do, guys, it's very simple. You're taking this number, 31. All you're doing is adding 1 to it to get your final number, 32, which is what you are going to ask your spectator to deal from the top of the deck. And this is going to be your lucky number. So guys, that is the calculation that you need to do in your head at this point. One more time here. After you have dealt this amount of cards, you're going to perform the next calculation. Your spectator's number minus your original number here, 46 minus 15 is 31. Then all you're doing is adding 1 to that, 32. And you're going to tell your spectator, all right, so my lucky number for this trick is going to be 32. You're going to hand the deck of cards over to your spectator and instruct them to deal 32 cards from the top of the deck. So you can just go ahead and have them do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and check out the 32nd card. It is the spectator selection right here, the 8 of spades. So guys, that is the effect. It's a really powerful self-working one. Like I mentioned at the start, really no sleight of hand involved. You just need to get comfortable and practice doing these calculations, and the trick will work every single time. So go ahead and rewatch this tutorial if you need to get these steps down and practice it. I recommend you run through it a couple times to yourself before you go out and perform it. But once you get it down, it's quite easy. So practice it and enjoy. Definitely give this trick a try. Have fun doing it. It will fool all your spectators. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.